Written by ForgottemDreams. Read by 8th Flame. The sounds of screaming filled the air as black smoke consumes the sky. Rows upon rows of buildings are set ablaze like Roman candles as Ponyville burns to the ground. Ponies from the fire brigade attempt to quench the insatiable flames of their demonic hunger, only to be burned to a crisp. In the epicenter lays Twilight's castle, glowing an ominous dark red. Charred bodies, both living and dead, paint the hallways of the crystal castle with their blackened blood. Princess Twilight Sparkle watches in horror as her last living god, half charred and bleeding profusely, crawls towards her with pleading eyes. As he gets to only a couple of feet away, a deep resonating growl comes from the black smoke above. Both ponies cringe as they look up. A pair of glowing green eyes pierce through the black soot. In a heartbeat, the creature pounces from its hidden perch. Landing on the poor god, the beast sinks its fangs into him. The sound of crunching bones and mangled screams reach Twilight as she is forced to watch. Tears run down her cheeks. How did this happen? Why did this happen? She only heard the screams coming from the barracks. By the time she had arrived, several guards were already dead, while an injured guard was cowering in the corner, holding his bleeding side. Large claw marks and broken weapons decorate the large room. When Twilight attempted to make her way to the guard, he started to scream. "It's still here! Run, princess!" The guard slumps over to the side as his last breath leaves his mouth. Choking back her tears, Twilight turned around and ran. Screams began to echo throughout the halls as more ponies died. It wasn't long after when flames started to drown them out. By the time Twilight had reached her bedchamber and took to the balcony, she was in a state of total shock. The flames emanating from her castle had begun to set the neighboring rooftops ablaze. One by one, district by district, Twilight watched as Ponyville fed the flames. A gust of burning air rushed past her face, covering her in ash and smoke. She chokes out a cough as the smoke fills the room. The sound of clashing metal and monstrous roars emanate from the corridor leading to her chamber. Twilight closes her eyes as one by one she listens to her guards die. Her door burns a bright red every couple of seconds as flames consume her castle. Her door shakes as something slams into the opposing side. Her heart feels as if it has stopped. As she locks her gaze on the splintered door, another shake followed by another. Tongues of smoke burst through the door as several burning guards pour into her bedchamber. Out of them, only one survived. His armor blackened by the flames, he crawled towards her. She looked into his eyes, tears running down her cheeks as she saw the fear in his. He crawled towards her with charred limbs and bleeding wounds. He was determined to get to his princess. However, his destination was in vain as the creature had taken to a perch above to intercept him. When he heard the growl, he looked up to see it looking down at him. He knew he wasn't going to survive, so he set his gaze upon his princess, so he could at least see one last thing of beauty before his untimely end. Everything went black as he felt fangs sink into his neck. The creature, large in size, hunches over its kill as it tears through metal and bone with little effort. The blood covering its scales gives off a glossy amethyst shine to its purple scales. Bits and pieces of broken weaponry protrude out of its hide like badges of honor. Long sharp talons slice through the floor every time it moves to get to the burned pink flesh. Twilight's lips begin to quiver as she tries to find her words.
Spike? Are you there?
Spike twists his neck, causing Bone to snap as he glares at Twilight. A low rumble emanates from his throat as he locks onto her eyes.
It's me, Twilight. Don't you remember? We're friends.
The dragon slowly removes itself from the carcass and approaches Twilight. An insatiable hunger gleams from his eyes as he looks at her.
Please, Spike, if you are in there, I need you to come to your senses and stop this madness. These ponies have done nothing wrong. Spike, please snap out of it. This is not who you are. Please stop!
Spike stalks his way to Twilight before stopping in front of her. His body towers over her like a mountain to a rolling hill. Twilight fights back the urge to vomit as she sees her reflection of the glistening blood covering the dragon's large chest.
Why are you doing this? Spike, can you even hear me?
An angry growl resonates in Spike's throat as he glares down at Twilight. His lips begin to slowly peel back into a menacing snarl.
Spike, why are you so angry? Is this something I did? Is this all because of me? Spike, please, I'm begging you. If this is my fault, be mad at me. Just stop all this senseless slaughter.
Two small tendrils of smoke dance from his nostrils as his throat begins to gurgle and swell. The heat around them intensifies as flames begin to pour into the room, catching curtains, books, and other paraphernalia ablaze. The flames crawl up the walls, licking at the corners of banners, murals, and pictures of her friends, as the smoke above them turns to a sickening red-orange.
Please, Spike, I don't want ponies to remember you like this. You are not a monster. You are kind and caring. You go out of your way to help those around you. You wouldn't hurt any pony. I love you too much to see you like this. I've always saw you as my little brother. We've been through too much together for you to be seen as this.
Twilight's eyes shine brightly as she pleads with him to remember. She just wants her little Spike back to normal. She wants him to go back to what he was, her little brother. Spike takes a large inhale through his nostrils as he slowly opens his maw. A brilliant red flower begins to bloom in the back of his throat. Twilight closes her eyes and smiles, remembering all of her happy memories of the two of them together.
No matter what, I will always love you, Spike.
A torrent of intense flame erupts from his muzzle, engulfing Twilight in searing hot flames. Her screams of pain pierce through the night, only for no pony to hear as Ponyville becomes nothing but a pile of ash.